We have this idea that systems are always getting better. The competition and new ideas naturally push them to become more efficient, more flexible, basically better at what they do. But what if that's not what's happening at all?
I mean, just look at the keyboard you're probably using right now. The QWERTY layout, it was literally designed to slow you down, to keep old-timey typewriter arms from jamming. On the other hand, you have the DVO-ARC layout, which was engineered for one thing: pure, blazing speed.
And for decades, the better option has been right there. And yet, it failed. The clunky, inefficient standard won. And this isn't just some weird historical accident. It's a sign that some other force is at work, a force that doesn't really care about what's best.
To really see this force in action, let's strip it all down. Imagine a simple landscape, and on it, there are just 2 points that need to be connected. That's it, a simple problem of coordination.
Now, the reason you'd want to connect them is obvious, right? As the sociologist Max Weber put it, we're always trying to reduce friction and costs. We want things to be fast, precise, and clear. The goal is just pure, simple efficiency.
So, someone makes the first move. They lay a pipe. It works. Now, it's not necessarily the best pipe ever made or the perfect route, but who cares? It solves the problem. The points are connected, job done. But right there, with that one simple, rational decision, something huge just happened, maybe without anyone even noticing. An accidental blueprint has just been created. That first solution just set the rules for everything that comes next. So what happens next? Well, more points pop up on the landscape. They need to get connected too. And what's the cheapest, fastest, most logical way to do that? You just connect to the pipe that's already there. It's so much easier than starting all over again. And this is where a really powerful feedback loop kicks in. That first arbitrary choice becomes the standard. The more people that use it, the more valuable it becomes. And that value, well, it just pulls in even more people. The system starts feeding on its own momentum. And look what happens to our landscape. The network explodes. It gets denser and more tangled. And the crucial part? Every single new pipe is the same size as the first one. At this point, conforming isn't just the easy path. It's become the only path that makes any sense. Now, here's the crazy part. This isn't just some abstract idea. This number, 143.5 centimeters, that's the standard width for over half the world's railways. And why that exact number? Not because it's the best. It's because one engineer picked it for one of the very first railways, and then it just spread.
So here's where it gets interesting. Engineers know that wider tracks can be faster, more stable, and carry more weight. A better technology exists, but it doesn't matter. The standard is already baked in.
As the railway network got bigger and bigger, being connected to it became everything. I mean, think about it. The potential boost you'd get from a better track was nothing compared to the massive, massive cost of being cut off from every other train and station in the entire country. Okay, so let's jump back to our landscape. Imagine a breakthrough. A brand new, superior pipe is invented. It's wider, it's more efficient, it carries more. It is objectively, undeniably better. But guess what? Doesn't matter. Not one bit. Because it's incompatible. You can't connect it to the massive network that already covers everything. The better technology is basically an orphan. And this really lays out the economic trap, doesn't it? The cost of adding just one more standard pipe is almost nothing, but the cost to rip everything out and start over with the better tech? It's astronomical. The system is now locked in. Improving it is no longer even an option. So think about this. The whole system started with the goal of being efficient, and now it's actively rejecting a more efficient option. It seems completely irrational, like it's stuck. Is the system trapped by its own past? Well, the answer starts to come into focus when you see what's really going on. We're watching a force where every single decision made in the past actually shrinks the number of choices you have in the future. Think about it. That first, tiny, almost random decision, the width of a pipe, the layout of a keyboard, that little event kicked off a chain reaction that just kept reinforcing itself until eventually it became impossible to undo. And this whole process, this mechanism, it actually has a name. Path dependence. It's this idea that history isn't just the story of what happened. It's an active force that dictates what can happen next. The path you're already on is what determines where you're allowed to go. And this picture, this is the end game. Our landscape is now a complete working network. It gets the job done.
But it is forever trapped by the very first choice that was ever made. It's lost all of its flexibility. The path is basically set in stone. So now, when you look back at all those weird examples, keyboardy keyboards, VHS tapes winning over Betamax, those railway tracks, they suddenly make sense. They aren't failures or mistakes. They're the perfectly predictable result of path dependence, where a small head start creates a lock-in that even better technology just can't break. And this is maybe the most important takeaway here. The system that keeps us using QWERTY keyboards isn't broken. It looks totally irrational from the outside, but from the inside, it's following its own rules perfectly. It's just doing what it was built to do, reinforce itself. You see, the system's real goal was never to find the best possible solution. Its goal was to solve an immediate problem, and in doing that, its main job accidentally became reinforcing the path it was already on. Success, for the system, just means its own survival. So here's the final, stark realization. The completely rational search for efficiency ended up creating a system defined by the exact opposite, being irreversible. The attempt to make things easier created a permanent lock-in. The system isn't failing, it's succeeding at preserving a history it can no longer escape.